Hi team, Andrew Croot from yourservicezone.net here. I just wanted to do the video on how to create a follow-up email within your AWeber account. So if you've watched the previous videos in this series, you would have seen that the last video I created the list for coffee widgets, coffee_widgets. For our fictitious business on selling coffee widgets, and we're going to use this as kind of our test list to give you an example of how this all works. So down here you'll see under list stats we've got the coffee widgets. No subscribers are in there at all because obviously we're not promoting it, we've got nothing to go in there. But what we want to do is I want to show you how to set up the first follow-up email. So what happens is someone will enter their details into your sign up form, lead capture page, squeeze page, however you want to call it, and they will be then sent out, depending if you have opt-in confirmation or not, the first email. So what we'll do is we'll go through and do that right now. So what you do is you always make sure that your list is the list you want to be working in. Really important, especially if you have multiple lists. And then down here at messages, you want to do follow-up series. Okay, so if you click on that, sorry, just getting a bit of tea, and it'll bring up here, because there's nothing in here, it'll ask you to create your first follow-up. Okay, so this is follow-ups are automatically delivered to your subscribers. What that means is when someone signs up and their email address is added to your AWeber account, they will then start to automatically receive these messages from AWeber on your behalf. You can set them up to be sent out like one after the other after the other. You can set them up 1 day apart, up to 999 days apart. So you can vary it, you can mix it up. They typically say if you have it takes 7 interactions before you will get a sale online. That's an average, so that's just kind of idea. You want to probably at least well, more than seven messages in your AWeber follow-up series, depending on your business, of course. Okay, so there are a few options. I use the drag and drop email builder. There's plain text and code your own HTML. Obviously that's for people that are familiar with HTML and confident with HTML. Most people obviously won't be using that. I just click on it like that because it uses the generic drop and build message tool within AWeber, and that's what I'll be demonstrating for all the messages and all the activities within AWeber. That's what I'll be using because that's what most people use. Okay, message editor. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So we've got here, you've got a subject line. That's where you're going to put your subject, and then you've got the body down here. So you always need to put your subject. So we're going to put welcome to coffee widget world. Okay, just follow on the theme of coffee widgets. And then down here we've got a group of different types of what I like to call categories, I guess, or blocks. So each of these blocks can be added and taken away from, and that's where the actual content is presented within your message. So probably 90% of the work you do, you'll involve the paragraph block, which is what this one is, and an image block. So that's probably the two that I personally use most of the time. Probably 98% of my messages only contain that. But depending on your business, depending how you want to present it, you may use some of these other ones as well. So if we just get rid of this to start with, it'll show that there's nothing there. And then what you can actually do is you can actually start bringing in things. So headlines will look like that. Articles kind of go like that. It's got a headline. Yeah, it's all these kind of different things. You can link things out. It's makes it a bit more like a newsletter than anything else. Images are exactly that, an image. You can go justifications, you can host it on your own site and just put the URL, or you can actually have AWeber host it, which is really cool, easy option to do now, especially if you don't have your own domain, which isn't necessary to be able to be an online marketer or run a business online necessarily these days. You've got buttons, so this would be like a call to action button where it would go to. You can use a custom image on there, so if you've got a sale or you want someone to do something specifically, you can do that. Follow me, this is for social media, so if you've got Twitter and Facebook, you can add them in there. A product, so you know, it's again a call to action. Someone can buy Etsy shopping cart, you know, you can link it to your Etsy store. So that's pretty cool if you do Etsy stuff. Coupon, if you want to offer a coupon to someone, that's a pretty cool option there. You know, do that, they can cut it out. If you run a brick and mortar business, this would be a really cool thing for you to do, so people can bring this in after they print it out and present it to you to get that discount, so you know people are getting your messages. Logo, obviously put your logo in there. You can edit it so that it's got your company or anything logo. Signature, this is a predefined signature in up here in list options and settings that you can pre-populate, so it's nice and quick for you to do that. Divider, exactly like it sounds like, it'll divide the page. And sharing, you can people can tweet, Twitter, Google it, LinkedIn, whatever it is, different options there so that you can have people share what's in your message. Okay, so they're the different options, guys. Basically, I'm not going to go into make it too complicated here. I'm going to make it nice and simple. So I'm just going to do a simple paragraph and an image, and then what you do is you can put an image in the middle of a message, so we're just going to do that. So you can just click and drag these all over the place, nice and simple. So let's we'll keep it nice and simple. Okay, so we'll say here, hi and welcome to our email newsletter for coffee widgets. Hope you find this interesting and valuable. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so what you can do, and you can do this for all messages, if you want to edit that, make it larger and stuff, just highlight it all. You can change the font size, you can make it bold, you can make it normal, you can change the color of the highlighting, change the color of the font and everything else. If you want to link it to something specifically, highlight the word you want to link and you can just pop it in there, and then you can just put in, for example, google.com, okay, and it'll validate it and it'll hyperlink that for you, and if you put your mouse over it, it will give you an example of what that is. Okay, images. I've done some other videos on editing images and stuff in this training, so I want you to go ahead and look at those. Basically, you can upload a file there or use a URL, whichever one your preference is. And if you have existing images that you've used previously, click on Browse Image Gallery and it'll bring up all the images you've used previously. So let's say we just want to go do a yes no, something very generic. It'll just populate that in. It kind of looks like it disappears, but then it comes back again. And if it centers automatically, will left justify, you'll notice the paragraph below it comes up, and you can just return down to do that. There is a whole series, another video on how to do that, so I'm not going to go into that now, guys. Okay, so let's say that's the message we want. I know I haven't got into too much detail there, but I want to show you how to get this going. So you just click next. After that, it will have click tracking. You want to do that so you can see if people actually click on the link inside the message, and then because it's the first one, it will go out automatically. Now we just go save and exit. While that's loading, just wait. So okay, and there it goes into the follow-up series. Okay, so you'll see that is now number 1. You can edit it, send a test, delete it and copy it, and it will send it immediately. This spam score and open, the spam score is it takes your subject and it compares it to kind of spam filters and sees if it is something that will trigger spam filters in different mail services. So if you got a 0, you're very safe. If you got like a 9 or a 10, then it's probably going to pop it into a spam folder or reject the email. So just something to take into consideration. Then opened is a percentage of the emails that have been sent that have been opened. So you can work out for testing and everything whether that's successful or not. Now I'm just going to quickly create a second one so you can see what happens once you've created 2. Okay, and what we're going to do is just quickly, we'll just do one of these templates here. So if you just click on that template and do apply. Okay, so these are all templates within it. I'll show you templates more in another video, but this gives you an idea of what templates look like and how your messages can actually look. And the world of coffee widgets. Okay, and if we just go next. Okay, so settings. So the interval, this is the number of days after the previous message. So it defaults to 999, but if we want it to go out the next day, we just go in 1 day. And the send window can be actually sent and specify when you want the message to actually go. Okay, you can set it to specific days, specific times, and make it local time for the receiver or the subscriber, and then that's why you can kind of really highly target people based on geographical and time things like that. Okay, save and exit again. And once that comes up in the follow-up series, I'll show you how we'll see how that looks in just a moment. So one thing you might want to do is when you're creating your follow-up series is do them all in like a Word document or something like that. Then you can just copy and paste them over as you create each message. Just a thought there, something you could do. Okay, so we've got number 2 there. World of coffee widgets, send 1 day after the previous message. And again, you can do all the different options there. Now one really cool thing you can do to make it easy is in case you want this to actually be your first message, just click on it once, hold it down and drag it, and it'll actually flip it. So it'll actually reorder it and automatically update these things. Now one thing you will notice, if it is the first message you did, it will default to send shortly after the previous message because it'll send it straight away. But by editing it, going through the next step, you can actually change that to 1 day. So that's not a problem. But if we go back, flip it back, it has actually done that. So changing the first message was a bit of a you do need to go back and do a second step, but any of the other ones, it will keep the number of days since the previous message that you applied. Okay guys, hope that helps you get your first follow-up series started. Really pay attention to the follow-up series. That's what's going to do the selling for you online, and all the best. So have a look at the other videos in this series, and if you've got any questions, shoot me an email. Contact details coming up right after this. Okay, from Andrew Croot, have a great day. Bye.